From noon on October 10th to 9 p.m. on October 16th, I was away from television and social media with extremely limited internet access in a foreign country, walking lush gardens at dawn and staring at mountains and spending precious time with family and new old friends. Somewhere along the line it occurred to me I hadn't felt the urge to argue politics on anything in days. It was so sweet. It was so relaxed. I felt like I was getting back to my calm core. I was cultivating deeper connections with all being around me. I was getting more into my transcendence. But then it also occurred to me that in those days I had not encountered anyone who disagreed with me. Nobody had ruffled my feathers in the slightest. So that transcendence I thought I was getting, maybe not so much. Transcendence means to rise above. How hard is that when things are easy? How much more difficult when people are difficult? Then is when we get to work out our transcendence muscles. Then is when we get to find out just how Unitarian Universalist we really are. How willing are we to be sanctuary to those we disagree with from the storms of the world, as we are for those with whom we do agree. Because our first principle directs us to respect the worth and dignity inherent in every person. And every means every. That, for me, is hard. It includes those who disagree with us or make us angry or hurt my feelings, or my brother who unfriended and blocked me on Facebook 2 weeks ago. It includes him too. How do we become sanctuary for those people as well? We start by realizing that every one of us has broken places inside. We don't know what others' broken places may be. We start by recognizing that all of us want the same things. Safety and shelter and food for body and spirit and hope and peace and joy and love. We start with remembering that we are all far more alike than we are different. And we begin right here in this room, right now. Don't leave your broken heart at the door.
Bring it to the altar of life.
Don't leave your anger behind.
It has high standards, and the world needs vision.
Bring them with you.
And your joy, and your passion.
Bring your loving.
And your courage, and your conviction.
Bring your need for healing.
And your powers to heal.
There is work to do.
And you have all that you need to do it, right here in this room.
Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out for you. Will you reach out for me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Here in the refuge of this Sabbath home, we turn our busy minds towards silence and our full hearts toward one another.
We move together through the mysteries, the bright surprise of birth and the shadowed questions of death.
In our slow walk between the two, we will be wounded and we will be showered with grace, amazing and unending.
Even in our sorrows, we feel our lives cradled in holiness we cannot comprehend.
And though we each walk with a vast loneliness, the promise we offer here is that we do not walk alone. This is a holy place in which we gather. The light of earth brought in and held, touched then by our own answering light.
The the flame on a chalice, the flicker of a candle, the lamps of our open faces brought near. In this place of silence and celebration, solemnity and music, we make a sanctuary and name our home.
Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out for you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
I don't have anything to say.
Well, I do, but it might not be interesting to anyone.
I have secrets inside me and struggles, and I don't know if I'm ready to share them.
I want to hear what you have to say.
I want to speak of the deepest things together.
I want to hear what you dream about, what you hope for.
I want to know how you have come to arrive at this resting point along your journey.
What if I speak and you don't understand?
I will listen and listen again until my hearing becomes understanding.
What if I can't find the words to share the world inside of me?
I believe that wise words will emerge from you.
How can I trust you to hold my life stories, you who I may not even know?
By knowing that, I receive a part of your story. I will give you part of mine.
How will this work? What will happen? What awaits us?
You can find out anything at the beginning.
Let us begin to listen and trust and to know one another more deeply.
Let us begin to listen and to trust and to know one another more deeply. What a lovely thing to say. What an easy thing to hope for. What a hard thing to do. Where shall we make such a beginning in this world increasingly given to division and anger and hatefulness? Last week, Scott gave us some practical suggestions how we might build bridges of understanding between us, especially to reach those we think are either just not like us or just don't like us. We remember we are called by our Unitarian Universalist faith to love those people, just like the ones we think are more like us. Yes, there are bad behaviors and bad policies in this world, and we are duty-bound to stop those. Yes, at the same time, you're called to love those people and respect their worth. You're called to love people who do things and say things we don't like. You're called to stop them, and we are called to love them. Not easy. But we begin with understanding. So where does that understanding come from? For me, it really helps to try to put myself in another's shoes, to learn what it might be like to live their life and see through their eyes and listen to what matters to them and what hurts their hearts and what gives them hope. It's quite likely very much the same things that I want. In your order of service, you will find a photo of a shoe. Go ahead, take a look. If you don't have one, raise your hand, we'll get one to you. Anybody not have a shoe? Who's got our shoes to distribute for those who don't have any? Okay, share amongst yourselves because we have all the shoes out there already. If you wound up with two in your order of service, please share with someone near you, or maybe a child who's with you and didn't get one, or just share and you can both be the same shoe. Now, all over this room, we have people holding up shoe signs. Where are our sign holders? Now what we're going to do is we are going to make our way to the shoe that matches the one we have in our order of service. Sign holders, choose a spot. You're going to see some questions up on the screen to ask amongst yourselves once you have gathered around your shoe.
She's got the sign. Look at her sign. Where do you match?
You finding your shoe?
Excuse us.
Shoes alike or different?
to you? Will you reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions? Friends, we could make such sweet harmony, building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions? Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. You can stay right where you are. Ask our readers to come back up so we can finish up here with a couple of thoughts for you to carry home, along with your picture of your shoe. The great teacher, Gautama Buddha, instructs us, resolve to be tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant with the weak, and with the wrong. For some time in your life, surely, you will have been all of these. Out of a community of diverse heritage and belief, we come together to share our hope and to create good in the world. The prophets of all traditions and times have taught that we are called to mercy, generosity, and mutual care. We know that there can be no enduring happiness for humanity so long as suffering and want go unrelieved. Until all may be sheltered, none of us is truly home. May the power of our various faiths sustain us in this work, that we may be the hands of holy creativity and justice, and together build a better world. May it be so. May we be so. May we be a people of sanctuary. Let us hold these things in our hearts as we sing together, Though I May Speak of Bravest Fire.